Hey everybody, Matt Perry here. Welcome to All Around Spurgeon. And this is one of the videos that I want to do to answer one of the questions a little more in depth that was asked at the lecture this past Sunday, April 3rd. And I just want to spend time thanking Calvary Church in Inglewood and Mark Halleck for providing a fantastic environment for that. But one of the questions that came up, and I want to just address this real quick and then be able to direct you to a place where you can go and look at this deeper was I mentioned that Spurgeon and the Metropolitan Tabernacle had started about 66 different organizations. And somebody asked, well, what were these organizations all about? And I wish I had had that. I knew a bit about what some of them were, but I wanted to let you know that there is a place that you can look at those and read more about them. It's called the Metropolitan Tabernacle, its history and work. So chapters 11 to 15 of that talk about what some of these organizations and institutions were. 11 to 14 talks about some specific ones, and then 15 at Spurgeon's Jubilee celebration, which was his 50th birthday in 1884. They began to go down a little more and just list off what these 66 organizations were. But in chapter 11, it talks about, and I'm just going to click through this on my computer and hopefully be able to convey this to you. But chapter 11 talks about some alms houses. And so it says that members of the church, being women above the age of 60 and needing support, are eligible to become occupants of the rooms. They are generally chosen according to their number on the church book and the urgency of the case. One of the inmates, Miss Fanny Gay, is in her 87th year and has been a member of the church for 69 years. She's an eminently devout, prudent, godly woman, and in the past years rendered eminent service by her conversations with young women who needed instruction or comfort. It is a joy to provide a resting place for her and other aged sisters. And so this almshouse contains 17 alms rooms, 2 school rooms, and a classroom, which are occupied by 380 children on weekdays. And there's also a house for the schoolmaster. And so when he was writing this, it said, at the present time, a Sabbath school, special children's services, and an evangelistic meeting with many other good works are in earnest operation at the place, including most of the usual machinery collected with the places of worship. And so that was one of the places that Spurgeon was most thankful for. The other was the pastor's college. And this was a college that was founded in 1856. And so if you do the math, he's only 22 years old. Even as he himself never went to college, he opened up this pastor's college with a gentleman by the name of George Rogers. If you remember Spurgeon, when he came to Christ, he became a credo Baptist. He believed in believer's baptism. But the gentleman that was the principal of the place and was really instrumental in getting this rolling was a Congregationalist, a Paedo Baptist. But they both saw the need and they agreed with enough theology to be able to continue on and moving in this particular endeavor. So in order for you to be a part of the pastor's college, you have already had to have been in ministry for 2 years and had to have seen some success in winning souls to Jesus, and had to be ready to learn. And you got to hear much of, if you listen to or read some of Spurgeon's lectures in books called like Lectures to My Students and All Around Ministry, other books along that line, you see Spurgeon really let his hair down. And he began to talk a little bit about the humor that goes along in ministry, but he gave some really gold advice to them. So we're very thankful for that. The next one that he was really grateful for was the Stockwell Orphanage. And so in 1867, he opened it up to a number of young men. And in 1879, he opened it up to girls. But there was this lady by the name of Anne Hilliard who gave 20,000 pounds, a tremendous amount of money then, gave 20,000 pounds to be able to help this get rolling. Spurgeon always believed that all of these particular vehicles needed to be done without debt. So like the Alms House, they wouldn't get that started until there was no debt to be incurred. He really believed Romans 13:8 that owe no one anything except love. And so the orphanage, which went on for quite a while, but it was destroyed and shut down in World War II. So they opted, I shouldn't say destroyed. It was just, they just decided to shut it down in World War II. So That was one of the things, the orphanage. He was very proud of that orphanage. Moving on, just want to do this real quick. Moving on, there's something called a coal porterage association, and so what their goal was to make sure that they were um, selling various pieces of Christian literature, Christian books, Bibles that would be able to help support the ministry that was going on. And even as they would go door to door, they wouldn't just try to sell the books. They would talk about the souls of the ones that were there, pray with them, especially if they were sick, always leave them a tract. So everything that they did was, it was never just a commercial endeavor, and it never was just a social endeavor. There was a gospel endeavor that was there. And so out of these, a number of classes came along. So it was really just wonderful to be able to see this. When you get to chapter 15 of this small work, you see something about the Tabernacle Building Fund, Mrs. Spurgeon's Book Fund, which Susanna began to raise money so that she could provide books to some of these pastors that didn't have a lot of money to be able to buy books themselves. If you remember, if you have a chance to listen to the lecture, but if you know a little bit about Spurgeon's ministry, one of the things that Spurgeon was, he was a dissenter. He was of the free church realm, and that means that they weren't able to go to college, and many of them just didn't have the money to be able to move forward on some things and to be able to buy books. So what Spurgeon's wife Susanna kept doing was raising money to be able to provide these books for these pastors so they would have good studies to do. Mr. Aachen German mission, which were supporting two missionaries in Germany, missions to the Jews, which was a small auxiliary to this mission, which Mrs. Higgs, it says, was the secretary. Mr. Orman's mission in Golden Lane City, Richmond Street mission and schools in Walworth, the Green Walk mission in Bermondsey, and that was there where about 180, 150 children in the schools, mothers meetings, Band of Hope, Tract Society, Open Air Mission, Bible and singing classes, children's special services. That it was really, really moving forward well. So, I mean, I could point you to all of these things that are going on, a number of classes, a number of missions, a number of different things. And at the end, it says, C.H. Spurgeon, we have need to praise God that he enables the church to carry on all of these institutions. The takeaway for us is to be able to see some of the needs that are going on and to be able to know the people that are in your church and find ways to meet those needs. Some of it may involve money, some of it may not involve money, some of it may be where you are budgeting for it, and some of it may be things where that you just bless. But he saw ways to meet needs physically, spirit, and spiritually as well. And so, again, I'd recommend you getting the Metropolitan Tabernacle, its history and work. It's $1.99 on Kindle. It's very difficult to find a good hard copy of this. And I don't know, this may be just volume one that we have on here. I'm still looking it up, but I'm hoping that this gives you a little bit more of an idea of some of these organizations that Spurgeon was all about and some of the things he was doing. It's really exciting to see this and really to be able to visit it. So, again, Matthew Perry, I'm all around Spurgeon. I'm the pastor at Arapahoe Road Baptist Church in Centennial, Colorado. I hope that you'll come by and visit us if you're looking for a church. But we're also, feel free to check us out at arbc.net. But we'd also love for you to be able to connect on Facebook. Just look for All Around Spurgeon and our website, allaroundspurgeon.com. Let's begin to develop this understanding of this wonderful man of God that was around all too short, for at least by our standards, but he was around just long enough for what God would have him to do in and of this world. So I'm very thankful that you could join us. God bless you, and go ahead and hit subscribe so that when we start getting more of these videos out, you'll be the first ones to get them. All right. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.